Welcome to my mayor's message of July 3rd, 2020. I'm Mayor Ron Jensen. Things are getting worse, folks. Much worse than they were when we started. This week's been a tough week. Tarrant County and Dallas County hit records. Tarrant County, for the first time, reported over 600 cases. And Rebecca and I have personal friends of ours that have it. I've got an employee at work that I moved here from California over 30 years ago with me, has come down with it. Another one of my employees, his wife, has come down with it. Dear friend of ours, heavily involved in the community with underlying health conditions, has it. Her daughter has it, her 2 grandsons, and her husband. And folks, when you have it, it's not just a 14-day quarantine. The Mayor McKinney's daughter has had it 2 months. You're out of commission for a long time. And then everybody around you has to stay away from you and get tested, and sometimes self-isolate themselves. We need to get control of this. This week alone, Vice President Pence was here and Governor Abbott at a press conference both said we have to wear masks and social distance to get control of this. Fauci says if the things keep going the way they are, we could have up to 100,000 cases a day. Folks, we have to do our part. I'm not going to go through the list of opening and closings. If you go to a store and there's a line outside, it's because they have a capacity restraints. If you go to our parks this weekend and have to stand in line, it's because we have capacity restraints on the park. I don't need to give you the data. We're relying on the businesses to do the count. We're relying on the businesses to require you to wear a mask. But take some personal responsibility in this. Wear the mask when you're out in public. I don't want it, you don't want it. We do not want the governor to have to close things back down. We want to keep the economy open. Let's do our part and wear a mask. Let's go over some data in Dallas County alone. Now, they're registering 600 cases a day. Last week, it was 500. The week before that, it was 400. And the week before that, it was 300 new cases a day. You can see where the math's going, folks. This is a math problem. I hear a lot of people saying, well, hospitalizations is what we're tracking, and we sure are. And Governor Abbott is looking at the hospitalizations. But the more people test positive, even if the number of positive cases that get hospitalized are lower, if you have 600 cases, some of those people are going to the hospitals. The hospitals in Houston, ICU, are already up to max. We've got to get control of this. Now, the state did come out with some new orders June 26, limiting capacity. And in Dallas and Tarrant County, you have to wear masks to go into business, but there are certain things exempt. I want to talk about churches and government. Even though we're exempt, and even though churches are exempt, that does not mean you shouldn't wear a mask when you go to church. I think everybody entering and leaving a church ought to be wearing a mask, just like if you're going to a restaurant. Now, when you get to your pew, if you're with your family and you're isolated, take your mask off. I mentioned hospitalizations. As of June 30th, hospitalizations in Texas reached 6,533. That's 3 times as many as 2 weeks ago. 3 times as many. Hospitalizations in DFW, 1,375. In the city of Dallas, 71% of ICU beds are occupied. 37% of ventilators are in use. DFW hospitalizations are up 20%. We still have plenty of ICU beds and ventilators available in DFW, but if the numbers keep growing, that may change. In looking at the 7-day rolling average trends, both Dallas and Tarrant County number of new cases continue to rise. Dallas County numbers have risen 25% and deaths risen by 58%. Tarrant County cases have risen by 70%, deaths by 31%. Worldwide, COVID-19 cases have topped 10 million infections and more than 500,000 deaths. In closing, I want to remind everybody that there's free COVID-19 testing here in Grand Prairie. Also, we're giving rental assistance through Grand Prairie United Charities. All of these details can be found at our website, gptx.org. As we go into this 4th of July weekend, I know we're all going to want to party, see friends, have barbecues. Be careful. We've all read stories of families that got together for surprise birthday parties and then 18 of them come down with it. One of them, the matriarch's in the hospital, barely hanging on. You don't want that as your story. Be careful, wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, keep your hands off your face. Let's be able to open up Texas more instead of have to have the governor close more things down. Stay safe. I'll see you next week.
In addition to the mayor's message, the city of Grand Prairie wants to make all citizens aware that Texas Governor Greg Abbott has issued a statewide order that now requires every person in Texas to wear a face covering in public, both inside and outside, when social distancing is not feasible, with few exceptions. The executive order is in effect as of noon, Friday, July 3rd, 2020.